Mafhir, what if your soulmate has already crossed your path, veiled by heaven's silence? The heart yearns, yet God's design unfolds beyond mortal sight. No mortal script can rival the sacred orchestration of the Almighty. Your longing is not unseen. It is a prayer etched in eternity's book. Destiny's hand moves not by chance, but by the will of the eternal. Lift your eyes to the unseen, where God prepares a sacred union. Trust the silence, for it hums with the promise of divine alignment. The air grows heavy with unseen whispers, as if angels tread softly around you, their wings brushing your soul with a warmth that speaks of love, yet to be revealed. Does your soul dare to trust the unseen hand, crafting your eternal bond? Every tear you've shed has been counted by the one who holds eternity. The world seeks love in chaos, but God plants it in sacred order. Your heart's deepest cry echoes in the halls of heaven's throne. What you call delay, God names preparation for a holy covenant. The divine weaver threads your story with a love beyond time. Open your spirit to the mysteries of his sacred timing. Let your soul rest, for his plans are already in motion. The faint glow of starlight pierces the night, its ancient light touching your skin, as if the heavens themselves whisper promises of a love ordained before the dawn of creation. Are you ready to surrender your timeline to the architect of eternity? God's ways are not of flesh, but of spirit, hidden in divine mystery. Your soulmate is not a gift of chance, but a decree of heaven. The Almighty does not jest with the desires of a longing heart. Every step you take is inscribed on the scroll of his will. Love, when ordained, is a sacred flame that burns for his glory. Prepare your heart, for the eternal is crafting your story. Listen closely, for his voice guides you through the unseen. The rustle of unseen winds carries a celestial melody wrapping around you like a mantle, each note a reminder of a love woven into the fabric of the divine. Can your spirit hear the sacred song calling you to your destiny? The world's love fades, but God's covenant endures through the ages. Your soulmate walks a path already blessed by the hand of God. Heaven does not rush, for its timing is etched in perfection. What you seek in haste, God delivers in eternal purpose. The divine does not abandon the heart that trusts in him. Let your faith rise, for God's promises never fail. Stand firm, for your journey is guided by his light. The earth beneath your feet trembles faintly, as if alive with the weight of divine intention, its pulse echoing the heartbeat of a love yet to be unveiled. Will you trust the one who knows the end from the beginning? A love ordained by God is not a fleeting spark, but an eternal fire. Your soulmate is a mirror of God's purpose for your life. The heavens conspire to align two hearts under his sacred will. Every trial you face is a step closer to divine union. God's hand moves in shadows, preparing light for your path. Walk in obedience, for destiny awaits the faithful heart. Let go of fear, for God's love casts out all doubt. The scent of ancient cedar fills the air, grounding you, while a distant choir of celestial voices echoes through the void, heralding a union blessed by the eternal. Does your soul tremble at the thought of a love so divine? The Creator knows your heart's every whisper, every unspoken prayer. Your soulmate is not found, but revealed by the hand of God. The stars above were set in place to witness your sacred story. God's timing is a tapestry woven with threads of grace. Love from heaven is a gift that transforms the soul forever. Rest in his presence, for your journey is divinely guided. Prepare your spirit, for a sacred encounter draws near. A golden light breaks through the dawn, its warmth kissing your face as if the sun itself bows to the promise of a love written in the heavens. Are you prepared to receive the blessing God has long prepared? A closed door is not a denial, but a sacred redirection to your destiny. Has your soul ever heard the whisper urging you to be forged anew? Your heart, like barren soil, is being tilled by the hands of the eternal. Seek not love in haste when God is carving purpose into your existence. Old wounds, ancient sorrows must fade before destiny's light can dawn. Let him refine you as a potter shapes a vessel of honor. Fear not, the season of waiting for God weaves a covenant eternal. The shadows of your past, sharp as a winter's blade, pierce your heart. Yet a celestial warmth, like the breath of dawn, caresses each scar, promising a sacred renewal. Dare you let God shatter the walls within your soul before he entrusts you with love ordained. The preparation of God is a sacred fire burning away the chaff. Your past pain is not your end, but the soil of your growth. The Almighty does not entrust destiny to an unready heart. Every wound you bear is a lesson for the love to come. God's refining hand spares no corner of your hidden soul. Surrender to His work, for it is a labor of love. Let the Eternal shape you, for a sacred union awaits. The weight of silence presses upon you heavy as a velvet cloak, while the faint hum of divine purpose vibrates through your bones, whispering of a future yet unseen. Can you endure the refining fire for the sake of divine love? Healing must come before the sacred gift of a soulmate arrives. The scars of yesterday cannot taint the blessing of tomorrow. God's hand uproots the thorns of past betrayal from your heart. A wounded soul cannot steward the weight of eternal love. The Almighty heals in silence, preparing you for His promise. Let His touch mend the broken places within you. Trust the process, for healing is the foundation of destiny. The cool touch of morning dew on your skin, the distant cry of a lone bird, and the ache in your chest all merge into a symphony of renewal orchestrated by the divine. Are you willing to let God heal what you've long hidden? Waiting is not punishment, but a sacred alignment of God's will. The heart that rushes risks missing the Eternal's perfect plan. God withholds not to deny, but to prepare you for glory. Your season of solitude is a divine classroom for your soul. The Almighty tests your faith before He unveils His gift. Embrace the waiting, for it is a holy discipline. Stand still, for God's timing is a sacred rhythm. The ticking of time slows each second heavy with divine intent, as the air around you thickens with the scent of blooming jasmine, a sign of promises unfolding. Do you trust the pause that God has written into your story? God deepens your faith before He brings your soulmate near. A shallow spirit cannot bear the weight of a sacred covenant. The Eternal calls you to walk with Him in the garden first. Your identity in God must stand firm before love arrives. A soul rooted in heaven will not falter in earthly love. Draw closer to the divine, for He prepares your heart. Let your faith grow, for it will anchor your union. The warmth of sunlight on your face feels like a divine embrace, while the rustle of leaves whispers ancient truths, grounding your spirit in the Eternal's presence. Is your faith strong enough to carry the love God ordains? The preparation is a crucible, forging you for divine purpose. God removes the stones of doubt from the garden of your heart. A love ordained requires a soul cleansed of past burdens. The Eternal does not plant seeds in unready soil. Your trials are the plow-breaking ground for sacred love. Yield to His hand, for the harvest will be glorious. Trust the process, for God's work is never in vain. The earth beneath you hums with life, its vibrations rising through your feet, as if the ground itself sings of a love that will take root in sacred soil. Can you surrender to the breaking that precedes the blessing? God's preparation strips away the illusions of worldly love. The heart that seeks completion in man will always falter. The Almighty fills your emptiness before He brings your destined one. True love complements, but only God can make you whole. Your soul must first be anchored in the Eternal's grace. Seek Him first, for all else will follow in time. Let God be your foundation, for love builds on Him. The stillness of the night wraps around you, the stars above shimmering like tears of heaven, each one a testament to the fullness God is weaving within you. Are you seeking love to fill a void only God can mend? The season of solitude is a sacred gift from the divine God, speaks clearest when the noise of the world fades. Your loneliness is a canvas for the Almighty's masterpiece. The Eternal prepares you in silence for a holy union. A heart at peace with God will attract a sacred love. Embrace the quiet, for God's voice echoes within it. Let solitude refine you, for destiny awaits the ready. The chill of twilight kisses your skin, the distant howl of wind carrying whispers of eternity, as if the universe itself mourns your solitude with sacred purpose. Do you hear God's voice in the stillness of your waiting? God removes the idols of your heart before love arrives. A soul clinging to false gods cannot receive true love. The Almighty purifies your desires, aligning them with His will. Earthly attachments must fall before a heavenly union rises. The Eternal demands a heart wholly surrendered to Him. Release your idols, for God's love surpasses them all. Let Him purify you, for a sacred bond awaits. The scent of burning myrrh fills the air, its smoke rising like prayers, while the weight of your surrendered desires lifts, leaving your soul bare before the divine. Are you ready to lay down all for the love God ordains? The preparation of God is a journey through sacred wilderness. Your faith is tested in the desert before the oasis appears. The Almighty leads you through trials to reveal your strength. A love ordained requires a soul tempered by divine fire. God's hand guides you through shadows to his eternal light. Walk the wilderness, for it leads to divine promise. Trust the journey, for God's path is always true. The sand beneath your feet burns with the heat of trial, the horizon shimmering with mirages of hope, while a distant oasis whispers of a love worth the journey. Will you endure the wilderness for the sake of divine destiny? God teaches you patience, a virtue for a sacred union. The heart that cannot wait will grasp at fleeting shadows. The Eternal's timing is a melody played in perfect rhythm. Your impatience is a test, and God is your teacher. A love worth having is a love worth waiting for. Learn the art of patience, for God rewards the steadfast. Let time be your ally, for destiny unfolds slowly. The slow drip of water on stone echoes in the silence, each drop a testament to time's steady hand, while the air hums with the promise of a love delayed but never denied. Can you wait in faith for the love God has promised? The preparation of God builds a foundation for eternal love. A house built on sand will crumble under love's weight. The Almighty lays stones of faith, hope, and trust beneath you. Your soul must be a sanctuary before it becomes a home. God's work in you ensures a love that will not falter. Let him build, for his foundation never fails. Stand firm, for your soulmate will stand with you. The crack of stones splitting under a mason's hand fills the air, each strike resonating with purpose, as if the earth itself prepares a bedrock for your sacred union. Do you trust the foundation God is laying for your love? God prepares you to steward love, not merely to receive it. A sacred covenant is a responsibility, not a fleeting joy. The Almighty trains your heart to give as he gives. Love ordained by God is a ministry, not a mere emotion. Your soul must learn to love with heaven's selflessness. Open your heart to give as God has given you. Let love be your offering, for God honors the selfless. The warmth of a sacrificial flame flickers in the distance, its heat touching your soul, while the scent of frankincense rises, a reminder of love's holy cost. Are you ready to steward a love that reflects God's heart? The preparation of God aligns your purpose with his glory. A soulmate is not a distraction, but a partner in destiny. The Almighty ensures your path serves his eternal plan. Your love must glorify the one who ordained it. God prepares you to walk in unity with his will. Align your purpose, for God's glory is your guide. Let your love shine, for it reflects the divine. The light of a distant temple glows on the horizon, its radiance calling you forward, while the air carries the weight of a purpose greater than your own. Does your heart beat in rhythm with God's eternal purpose? A fleeting moment, seemingly chance, is but God's quill upon your life's tapestry. Destiny arrives not with trumpets, but through doors you never foresaw. The Almighty Master Weaver entwines paths in the silence of your waiting. What you deem failure may be the prelude to a divine appointment. Each step, though faltering, is guided by him to the one he has chosen. Walk in faith, for God prepares a meeting beyond your imagining. Seek not love with mortal eyes, but let God guide you with his light. The scent of rain-soaked earth, the rustle of leaves beneath your feet, and the pulse of your heart like a sacred drum all converge, as if the cosmos whispers that destiny draws near. Do you trust that life's unforeseen turns are God's hand leading you to his chosen one? Ruth knew not that her steps led to a field of destiny. The Almighty orchestrates encounters cloaked in humble beginnings. A widow's sorrow turned to joy by heaven's unseen hand. What seems ordinary to man is extraordinary to God. Your path, though uncertain, is inscribed with divine intent. Step forward in obedience, for God aligns your journey. Trust the unseen, for his plans are always perfect. The golden wheat of Boaz's field sways in the breeze, its whispers mingling with the warmth of the sun, as if the harvest itself sings of a love divinely appointed. Can you see God's hand in the ordinary moments of your life? Isaac's servant prayed, and Rebekah appeared at the well of fate. The Eternal answers prayers with encounters that defy chance. A simple act of kindness became a sign of heaven's will. God's providence turns the mundane into the miraculous. Your soulmate may arrive in the guise of the everyday. Be vigilant, for God's signs are often subtle. Trust his guidance, for he leads you to destiny. The cool water of the well splashes softly, its ripples catching the light, while the air carries the scent of desert blooms, a testament to a meeting ordained by heaven. Are you watching for the signs God has placed before you? The Almighty delights in subverting the plans of man. Your soulmate may dwell in a city you've yet to tread. A closed door redirects you to a divine intersection. God's detours are the straightest path to his promise. The eternal moves in ways that confound the wise. Embrace the unknown, for God's hand is within it. Let faith lead, for destiny follows the faithful. The dust of a new road rises beneath your steps, the horizon glowing with an amber hue as if the journey itself hums with the promise of an encounter yet to come. Do you trust the detours that lead to divine destiny? Providence, not coincidence, governs the steps of the righteous. The world calls it chance. Heaven calls it divine alignment. Your soulmate's path was set before the stars were formed. God's hand moves unseen, orchestrating moments of eternal weight. Every encounter you've had prepares you for the one to come. Walk with purpose, for God orders your steps. Let faith guide you, for his plan is unfolding. The sky above darkens with the weight of a coming storm, its thunder echoing like a celestial decree, while lightning illuminates a path you've yet to walk. Can you discern the difference between chance and providence? The Almighty uses the unexpected to reveal his sacred will. A chance meeting may be the cornerstone of your destiny. God's timing often arrives cloaked in the garb of surprise. Your soulmate may stand where you least expect to look. The eternal delights in unveiling love through the unforeseen. Be open to the unexpected, for God works within it. Trust the moment, for his hand is upon it. The sudden chirp of a bird breaks the silence, its song weaving through the air, while the scent of wildflowers blooms unexpectedly, heralding a moment of divine surprise. Are you ready for a love that arrives without warning? The story of Esther whispers of God's hidden hand in love. A king's decree became the stage for a divine union. The Almighty positions you where your destiny can unfold. Your soulmate may wait in a palace you've yet to enter. God's orchestration turns the impossible into the inevitable. Step into your calling, for destiny follows obedience. Trust his positioning, for he knows your place. The echo of a royal trumpet resounds in the distance, its notes mingling with the scent of myrrh, as if the palace itself prepares for a union ordained by heaven. Do you believe God has positioned you for a sacred encounter? The Almighty often hides his greatest gifts in plain sight. Your soulmate may be a stranger you've already met. God's hand moves in the shadows of your daily steps. A fleeting glance could be the beginning of eternity. The eternal cloaks destiny in the guise of the familiar. Look again, for God's gifts are often near trust. His subtlety, for his ways are profound. The warmth of a crowded marketplace surrounds you. The murmur of voices blending with the scent of fresh bread, as if the ordinary hum of life hides a sacred secret. Have you overlooked the one God has already brought near? Divine encounters often come through acts of humble obedience. Ruth gleaned in a field, unaware of her destined Redeemer. The Almighty rewards the faithful with unexpected blessings. Your soulmate may appear while you serve in faith. God's gifts arrive when you least seek them for yourself. Serve with devotion, for God honors the humble trust. His reward for it comes in his time. The sweat on your brow mingles with the dust of the field, the rhythm of your labor echoing like a prayer, while a distant figure approaches, cloaked in divine purpose. Are you serving where God can bring your destiny to you? The Eternal often uses others to guide you to love. A servant's prayer led Rebekah to Isaac's waiting heart. God's hand moves through those who seek his will. Your soulmate may arrive through a trusted messenger. The Almighty weaves connections through the fabric of faith. Listen to the wise, for God speaks through them. Trust the guidance, for it leads to destiny. The clatter of a caravan fades into the distance, the scent of sandalwood lingering, while the voice of a trusted elder echoes with wisdom that points to a sacred union. Do you heed the voices God sends to guide your path? The Almighty's encounters often test your readiness for love. A divine meeting requires a heart prepared to receive God's timing, reveals not just love, but your own growth. Your soulmate arrives when your spirit is truly aligned. The Eternal ensures you are ready for his sacred gift. Examine your heart, for God prepares you still. Trust his timing, for it perfects your readiness. The weight of a coming dawn presses upon you, the first light casting long shadows, while the air hums with the energy of a moment you're not yet ready to grasp. Is your spirit truly prepared for the love God brings? God's encounters often come after seasons of great loss. Ruth's widowhood led her to a field of divine redemption. The Almighty turns mourning into a dance of destiny. Your soulmate may arrive when your heart is broken. God's greatest blessings often follow your deepest trials. Trust through sorrow, for God redeems all pain. Let healing come, for destiny waits beyond grief. The weight of tears stains your cheeks, their salt, mingling with the scent of fading flowers, while a distant light promises a joy born from the ashes of sorrow. Can you trust God to turn your mourning into joy? The eternal often brings love through a shift in direction. A new path may lead you to your destined one. God's hand closes doors to open windows of destiny. Your soulmate may dwell where you've never journeyed. The Almighty redirects your steps to align with His will. Embrace the change, for God guides through it. Trust the journey, for it leads to love. The creak of a new gate swings open, the scent of fresh pine filling the air, while the path ahead glows with an unfamiliar light, beckoning you forward. Are you willing to follow where God redirects your steps? Divine encounters often come when you're walking in purpose. Ruth found Boaz while fulfilling her humble duty. The Almighty aligns love with the rhythm of your calling. Your soulmate may meet you in the midst of service. God's blessings flow where obedience meets divine timing. Walk in purpose, for God honors your steps. Trust the alignment, for love follows the faithful. The rhythm of your work echoes in the silence, the scent of harvested grain filling your lungs, while a shadow falls across your path heavy with divine intent. Are you walking in the purpose where God can meet you? The Almighty's encounters are often marked by sacred signs. A prayer answered in the moment reveals His holy will. God's hand paints symbols of destiny in your daily life. Your soulmate may arrive with a sign from heaven. The eternal speaks through the language of the divine. Watch for signs, for God's voice is within them. Trust the symbols, for they point to destiny. The sudden flight of a dove crosses your path, its wings catching the light while the air grows still, as if heaven itself marks the moment with sacred significance. Do you see the signs God has placed before you? True love does not lead you astray, but closer to the throne of the divine. Your destined one holds not only your hand, but kneels with you before the cross. A sacred covenant is built not on fleeting passion, but on God's eternal purpose. If love draws you from God, it is not destiny, but a shadowed snare. The one God sends is a flame, not to consume, but to illuminate your path of faith. Seek a soul that loves not only you, but God through you. Let faith be the cornerstone, and God will build the rest. The flicker of a candle in a holy sanctuary, the faint aroma of incense rising, and the echo of sacred prayers all envelop you like God's embrace, binding two souls destined to walk in His light. Are you ready for a love that stirs not only your heart, but bows your soul before the Almighty? A God-ordained love strengthens your spirit, not your flesh. The world seeks passion, but heaven seeks eternal purpose. Your soulmate draws you nearer to the heart of God. A union without faith is a house built on sand. The Almighty binds two hearts to glorify His name. Choose a love that lifts your spirit to heaven. Let God be the center, for true love endures. The weight of a sacred vow presses upon you, the air thick with the scent of holy oil, while the echo of a distant hymn calls you to a higher purpose. Does your love lead you closer to the Eternal's heart? Your soulmate is a partner in the ministry of God's kingdom. A divine union builds not just a home, but a legacy. The Almighty calls two hearts to serve His eternal plan. Love without purpose is a melody without a song. God's chosen one walks with you in sacred mission. Serve together, for God blesses united purpose. Let your love be a testimony of His glory. The sound of shared prayers rises like a river, the warmth of clasped hands grounding you while the air hums with the weight of a calling greater than yourselves. Are you ready to build a legacy with your destined one? A true soulmate challenges you to walk in righteousness daily. The world tempts with ease, but God calls to holiness. Your destined one is a mirror of God's sacred standards. Love that compromises faith is a chain, not a crown. The Almighty sends a partner to sharpen your spirit. Walk in righteousness, for God honors the pure. Let your love reflect the holiness of heaven. The cool stone of a sacred altar presses against your knees. the air heavy with the scent of purity, while a light from above bathes you in divine conviction. Does your love inspire you to live as God commands? God-ordained love brings peace, not the chaos of the world. A union from heaven is a sanctuary, not a storm. The Almighty's gift restores your spirit with holy calm. Love that breeds confusion is not born of God. Your soulmate is a refuge blessed by divine hands. Seek the peace that comes from a sacred bond. Trust the stillness, for it is God's signature. The gentle ripple of a sacred stream fills the silence, its waters reflecting the light, while the air wraps you in a tranquility that speaks of heaven's touch. Can you feel the peace that marks a love from God? A divine soulmate prays with you, not merely for you. The power of united prayer binds two hearts eternally. The Almighty delights in the harmony of shared faith. Love without prayer is a flame without divine fuel. Your destined one kneels beside you before the eternal. Pray together, for God strengthens united hearts. Let your faith rise, for it deepens your bond. The warmth of a shared altar glows in the darkness, the scent of burning candles mingling with your whispered prayers, as if heaven itself joins your sacred union. Do you long for a love that prays in harmony with you? God's chosen one inspires you to fulfill your divine calling. A soulmate does not distract, but propels you toward destiny. The Almighty aligns two paths to advance His kingdom. Love without purpose is a journey without a map. Your destined one walks with you in God's sacred plan. Pursue your calling, for love will follow faith. Trust the alignment, for God's purpose unites you. The echo of a distant mission bell rings through the air, its notes blending with the scent of sacred ground, while a shared vision lights the path ahead. Does your love propel you toward God's eternal calling? A sacred union is a covenant, not a fleeting contract. The world breaks promises, but God's love endures forever. Your soulmate is bound to you by heaven's sacred seal. Love without covenant is a shadow, not a light. The Almighty forges a bond that time cannot break. Honor the covenant, for God is its witness. Trust the seal, for it is eternally binding. The weight of a sacred oath presses upon your heart, the air thick with the scent of eternity, while the light of heaven seals the bond you share. Are you ready to enter a covenant blessed by God? Your soulmate reflects God's love in their care for you. The Almighty sends a heart that mirrors His compassion. True love sacrifices as Christ sacrificed for His bride. A union without care is a garden without water. God's chosen one tends your soul with divine tenderness. Seek a love that mirrors the heart of heaven. Trust the care, for it reflects God's own. The gentle touch of a hand on yours feels like a divine promise. The scent of blooming roses filling the air, while a quiet strength surrounds you with sacred love. Can you feel God's love in the care of your destined one? A God-ordained love withstands the trials of the enemy. The world's love crumbles, but heaven's endures the storm. Your soulmate stands with you against the darkness. A union without faith falls when the winds howl. The Almighty shields a love that honors His name. Stand firm, for God protects what He ordains. Trust the strength, for it comes from heaven. The roar of a tempest echoes in the distance, its winds tearing at the earth, while a sacred light surrounds you, guarding a love that cannot be broken. Does your love have the strength to withstand the storm? Your soulmate helps you carry the weight of God's calling. A divine union shares the burden of sacred purpose. The Almighty sends a partner to lighten your load. Love without support is a journey walked alone. God's chosen one bears the cross with you in faith. Seek a partner who carries your sacred burden. Trust the support, for it is divinely given. The weight of a shared yoke presses upon your shoulders, the scent of ancient wood grounding you, while the strength of another beside you makes the load feel light. Are you ready for a love that shares your sacred burden? A sacred love grows through seasons of trial and triumph. The world seeks ease, but God's love endures through fire. Your soulmate walks with you through valleys and peaks. A union without growth is a seed that never blooms. The Almighty nurtures a love that deepens with time. Embrace the seasons, for God works within them. Trust the growth, for it leads to eternity. The crackle of a fire in the hearth warms your soul, the scent of burning cedar filling the air, while the light dances, revealing a love that grows stronger each day. Can your love grow through the seasons God ordains? God's love through your soulmate heals the wounds of your past. The Almighty sends a heart to mend what was broken. True love restores as God restores his beloved children. A union without healing is a wound left to fester. Your destined one brings balm from heaven's own hand. Seek a love that heals with divine compassion. Trust the restoration, for God works through it. The scent of healing herbs fills the air, the touch of a gentle hand soothing your scars, while a sacred peace washes over you, mending what was once broken. Do you believe God can heal you through your soulmate? A divine soulmate brings you closer to God's eternal truth. The world blinds with lies, but heaven reveals the light. Your destined one speaks truth that echoes God's word. Love without truth is a path that leads to ruin. The Almighty sends a partner to guide you in righteousness. Seek a love that speaks the truth of heaven. Trust the guidance, for it leads to God. The sound of sacred scripture fills the air, its words glowing like embers, while the presence of another beside you anchors your soul in divine truth. Does your love lead you to the truth of God's word? Your soulmate is a gift to glorify God's eternal name. A divine union is a testimony of his unending grace. The Almighty binds two hearts to reflect his glory. Love without worship is a song without a melody. God's chosen one magnifies the Creator through your bond. Let your love be a hymn to the eternal trust. The purpose for it honors the divine. The light of a sacred flame dances in the darkness, the scent of holy incense rising while your shared worship fills the air with the glory of God. Will your love be a testimony to God's eternal name? Trust in God's timing, for his promises never fail you. Your soulmate comes when your heart is fully prepared. The Almighty has written your story with sacred intent. Every trial, every wait has led to this divine moment. God's love for you is the foundation of your union. Rest in faith, for God's plan is perfect. Let hope rise, for your destiny is near. The warmth of a final dawn breaks through the darkness, its light bathing you in peace, while the air hums with the fulfillment of a promise kept by the eternal. Do you trust that God's timing is perfect for your love? A sacred love is worth the journey of faith and waiting. The Almighty rewards the heart that trusts in him. Your soulmate is a testament to God's unending faithfulness. Every step you've taken has led to this holy union. God's glory shines through the love he has ordained. Rejoice in the journey, for it has been blessed. Praise the Eternal, for his love endures forever. The sound of celestial harps fills the air, their notes mingling with the scent of blooming lilies, while a divine peace settles over you, sealing your sacred story. Will you give glory to God for the love he has given?